Hello, everyone. I hope we are all doing well today. You're welcome to the second edition of a free webinar series, My Farm and I. My name is Adibola Adidotun, and I'll be your anchor for today's program. So before we go on to what we really have for you and introduce what the program is about, I want us to introduce ourselves in the chat box below by typing our name, our location, and if you're a farmer, kindly indicate the kind of crop you are into. While you are doing that, I would like to share my screen. Just permit me for a moment, please. Okay, I believe you can see my screen right now. So briefly on the program, My Farm and I. My Farm and I is a free webinar series that trains people on selected agricultural topics. And these topics are based on the problems in agriculture and how to solve them. It's also a platform where farmers interact together to achieve great success in their farming experience. So you're welcome once again to the second edition of this program. The program is brought to you by Kitovu Technology Company. Kitovu Technology Company is an agri-focused technology company that uses data to eliminate guesswork in agriculture, enabling farmers to make more profit of their farms through increased yield and access to markets. We have several services for smallholder farmers. And for this program today, for the sake of our time, I'll be talking about just three of those services. One is StorageX. StorageX is a storage solution to smallholder farmers to prevent farmers from selling their produce during the glut period where there is too much of this product in the market, the price crashing down, farmers having one need or the other. So it helps these farmers to store their produce and provide and attend to the need of the farmer at that period. So the product, their product will serve as a collateral to get farmers loan that would solve their problem at that particular period. So when the price appreciates, the farmers can now sell the product at a very high value. So the second service we'll be looking at here is YieldMax. What YieldMax does is to provide information, data of the farmland, of the kind of soil the farmer wants to plant. And the main purpose of this information is to have a maximum yield, So the last of this services is Combo Trader. Combo Trader is a platform that gives you that helps you to trade in any of the agricultural produce on your own terms. We connect you with the right supplier and you can trade, you can earn an income by buying and selling from this produce. Isn't that amazing? So for further information, to get more information on these services, kindly reach out to us on any of our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Kitovu Technology Company. Thank you. So let's dive straight into what we have for you. So in our last topic, we talk about smart farming, and it's not a topic that we can rush through. We have to break down this topic into episodes so that we can learn from it and implement whatever we've learned into our farming activities. So we talked about smart farming. I will briefly rush through what was discussed for the sake of those that are attending for the first time. So we talked about the combination of information and technology as the future of agriculture in Africa. So this method of farming is not something new. It has been done in developed countries and they are seeing the results. And it's only few farmers in Africa that are into it. So we are seeing this combination, this interaction between information and technology as the next farming prospect in Africa. So we talked about tools we talked about tools in smart farming. We talked about application as well. So we have the Internet of Things, we have the drones, we have the smart irrigation. So we just treated, we had a general view of smart farming in our last class. So this time around, I just want us to take a moment. You know, it's the journey to the future is quite exciting, but let's take a moment and relax and let's see where we are as a farmer and observe what we can do. So today's topic is going to address what we can do as a farmer. What can we do right now to improve our farming operations, to improve our yield as well? So we'll be heading straight to what we have for you for today's program, titled Farm Operation That Demands Smart Farming. We have several of it listed here. We have the land preparation, we have the input application, we have the irrigation, we have the weeds, we have harvest, we have post-harvest operations. So we have all these farming operations. So all these farming operation demands smart farming. So we'll be breaking it down to why it's necessary to be smart about all these farming operations. So for the sake of today's class, we'll be just talking about the two at the top there, the land preparation and input application. So, okay, land preparation. What does it mean to have our land prepared? Is it necessary? Okay, land preparation is the process of making your soil conducive enough to support the growth and yield of crop on your farm. So what it's done is to make the soil in a state whereby the crops will be able to, you know, develop its roots and grow, and maintaining a good vigor during vegetative phase and all through the life cycle of such crop. So it's that process. The land preparation is the process of achieving what I just said. So common activities in land preparation, we have the land clearing, which under it we have the removal of trees and stumps. We have the bush clearing and burning. So that is the conventional way of preparing land. And here we also have the herbicide application. On the tillage side, we have the plow, we have the harrow, we have the ridging. So in our next slide, we'll be looking at how the conventional way of doing land preparation, how is affecting the state of crop, our environment, and even the yield as well. So, okay, so here we'll be talking about impacts of land preparation. So the first on the list here is soil compaction as a result of heavy machinery, farm machinery used in clearing. So we have been in most commercial farmers, I would say here, have been in this kind of situation where whenever they have to, you know, farm maybe large hectares of land, they would have to bring different machinery like the bulldozer to clear the farm. and so that it can have easy access so that it can prepare the soil for the planting season. But this system of land preparation is very wrong, because it adds adverse effects on the soil. It have adverse effects, if not indirect effects, on the plant, because we are still going there. So like said here, it leads to soil compaction. If you look at these heavy machineries, you will know that they are really heavy, and the more they work on the farm, the more they make the soil compact. So that is an indication that we need to do something about it. Another here is that it alters natural recycling of nutrients in the soil. So recycling of nutrients, there's a saying that says nature heals itself. So the way the creator program everything is that whenever there's maybe vegetation on the land, the way the soil gets back what he has given out is for the vegetation, to die, to decay, and return the nutrient back to the soil. So it's a cycle that needs to continue. So once it is altered by land clearing, the cycle breaks, the nutrients is lost. So let's look at another impact, which is soil structure. The effect of working on the soil by doing the tillage operations, like I listed in the previous slide, the plowing, ridging. So what this does to the soil is that it destroys the soil structure. We have a structure where at the top most level, we have the organic matter. At the lower level, we have the topsoil. And these two levels are very crucial to plants, especially the annual ones. So that's where they get their anchor from, and the nutrient as well, to support the growth of plants. So once there is disturbance in land preparation, this will lead to the soil losing its structure, and it can also lead to other environmental effects like the erosion and degradation as well. So before I go on to the next impact, I would want to say something. I met a lecturer. In fact, it was a professor in the agricultural sector, and he was sharing with me what he went through. That he bought the land can be called a virgin land, because they've never used that land to farm. So he bought a virgin land somewhere at Ogun State, and from what an agricultural professor said, from what he knows, that the normal, if you are looking to go into a commercial kind of farming, you have to bring a machinery that can do the land clearing within a while. That little did he know that he was doing harm to himself, to himself. That the first year of planting, he had amazing yield. But look at when it comes to the subsequent farming on that particular land, he regretted the action of going into such land preparation practice, which he now said that instead of doing that, what he should have done is that he should have waited a while, use other forms of land preparation, which we are still going to, and by doing that, he would have achieved greater nutrient sustainability in the soil. That is an example we can learn from. So it's really glad to learn from people's experience, so that whenever we get to that point, we can as well learn and do what is needed. So the next impact we are going to be looking at here is the reduction in soil living organism activities. So it's very hard to see living organisms, they have their role in ensuring that the nutrient cycle is not altered, because it is these living organisms that breaks down whatever organic matter that is on the surface of they break it down into humus. So this invariably it returns back to the soil nutrient that was once lost. So when these living organisms are reduced due to the actions of land preparation, we are still going to talk about those actions that leads to this nutrient reducing from the soil. And example of these organisms are earthworms. Earthworms is a very key organism in doing that, in converting organic matter into soil, or let me call it humus. So it's a very, very vital living organism in natural recycling of nutrients. So, but the impact of land preparation reduce the activities of such organism. Another is exposes the soil directly to the heat from the sun. It breaks, bush burning breaks dormancy of weed seed in soil, which could lead to serious weed challenge. So we have farmers that what they do whenever they want to prepare the land is to, just set it on fire. So once they do that, they will have a clearer farm or land to farm with no obstacles. But little did they know that once they achieve that, the practice of burning bush or burning the debris on the farm will lead to breaking of dormancy of some weeds, which could be challenging for the farmer later in the farming season. So here we are going to be talking about smart practices for land preparation. So we talked about the challenge with the conventional way of farming. So here we'll be talking about the smart advice for land preparation. So before we go into the smart practices, I would want to ask if you have any question, you can kindly jot it down. And at the end of the class, you can drop it in the chat box and it will be attended to. So let's move further. So number one here is to avoid the use of heavy machineries whenever there is alternative. Like I shared the experience of that professor. It was a bitter experience because he was saying he's looking at how to now improve the nutrient state of the soil, So if you happen to have a virgin soil and you need to do land preparation, it's not advisable. If you even if you are going for the commercial scale of farming, it's not advisable to bring a bulldozer to the farm, like stated in the second advice here, to avoid bulldozer as tree machines. So it's very wrong because of the state. We have to be thinking about the soil. Even there's this scripture in the Bible that talks about the people of Israelites have to farm for 6 years, and at the 7th year, God forbids them from farming. And this is a very simple analogy that they think about the state of the soil as well. So as a farmer, we also have to put that at the back of our mind. We need to be thinking about, this is where I get my nutrients, year in, year out. What can I do to this soil to help to sustain the nutrients and help the yield at the end of the day? So another advice here is zero tillage, zero or minimum tillage, to reduce the soil disturbance. So what soil tillage or minimum tillage does is that you can, as a farmer, if you are the type that, okay, you plow every year, you might decide that, okay, I plowed last year, this time around, I'm going to practice zero tillage. Zero tillage simply means you are not going to use any form of land preparation on your farm. This year, I'm going to just use zero tillage, plant directly. It helps to protect soil nutrients. So whatever has been lost due to the previous farming activities can be replenished, so that the next time you are farming, you have enough nutrients to see you through. So another here is no to bush burning. Bush burning has a very bad effect on the soil. It's, apart from the fact that it breaks dormancy of weeds that could be challenging for farmer, what it does is to also kill or destroy soil living organisms that are responsible for recycling nutrients in the soil. So the best you can do as a farmer is to stop bush burning. And if you ask me that, okay, instead of bush burning, so what do I do what do I do instead of bush burning? The advice is that if you clear your land, allow the land, maybe if you are looking to farm match, for instance, you might as well go ahead and clear your land very early, so that you will expose the cleared land to weather conditions. It will dry, the debris on the land will dry and decay, so that it will give you enough, it will return the enough nutrients back to the soil instead of harming the soil. So another here is to get soil information through GIS application. You might be thinking, why is this part of land preparation? No, but it is important that you get the soil information before you go through any farming activity. So what this means is that if you have the information of the soil, the nutrient available in the soil, it will help you to know the kind of inputs in terms of maybe fertilizer to mitigate nutrient loss, the kind of inputs to use on that land, and the quantity of inputs to use. So if you don't have such information and you go ahead and apply this inputs on your farm, you might at the end, hurt your soil. So you might at the end poison your soil for that. So it's very wrong if you don't have this information. And the information, the soil information here is what Yieldmass does as one of Kitovu services they render to farmers. So what Yieldmass does is to provide you as a farmer with this information about your soil state, information about your plants, the health of your plants, and water stress as well. So this information will help you to plan better as a farmer. And here we also have, it's very necessary for us to determine our land size before engaging in any farming activity. So that whatever inputs you are putting into such farm will not be a waste. For instance, it's very essential that we know the size of the land to determine the herbicide quantity to use. You know, if you are just guessing, let's say your farm is 2 hectares and you are saying, you are guessing it's 1.5. Eventually, what that will do is that it's either you apply a quantity that will not be enough, or you overdose the chemical on your farm, which will have adverse effects on the soil as well. So the last advice here is that the practice of sustainable agriculture, which will help your soil condition. So sustainable agriculture is the method, is the practice of, you know, growing tree crops, cover crops in a way that encourages living organisms. I said the other time, H1 and other organisms that breaks organic matter in the soil. So this practice encourages such activities in the soil. And as a farmer, from time to time, it's not necessary that, okay, if you are known for maize farming now, it's not, I'm not saying you should stop farming maize. You can as well incorporate other crops, other cover crops like potato, mix it so that you can, your soil will be covered and it will not be exposed to any external factor. So these practices will ensure that you have enough nutrients to go back on here in, here out. So we'll be talking about the second operation that requires smart farming, which is input application. And that's where we'll end our today's class. So what are the inputs requirements for crop? We have the seeds, we have fertilizer, we have herbicides, we have insecticides, name it. So we have all these inputs, but we need to be smart about its application, or else it will be harmful, whether to the crop or to our soil as a farmer. So here we'll be talking about the need to be smart in input application. So number one here is labor inefficiency. I had the experience when I was farming, was managing around 50 hectares of maize farm, where we employed laborers to apply fertilizer for us. You know, the land was so vast that even if you are working with them as they are applying the fertilizer, you won't know the quantity if they are applying the right quantity. You know, all they want is that they want to get paid at the end of the day. They can just do a careless job. So this helps to prevent that. So we also have the reason why we should be smart about our input application. The second one here is the input waste. It reduces input waste, where we should have applied more inputs. It helps to reduce input waste. It helps us to achieve standard plant population. It saves time as well, and reduce drudgery in farm operations. And the last one here is that it saves cost of application, because if you are looking at, for instance, if you want to do plowing, preparing your soil, you know, plowing, if you are comparing plowing cost to manual ridging kind of land preparation, you can't compare the two costs. Manual rigging or manual land preparation is more expensive. So we'll be talking about, before we round up, we'll be also talking about the seeds and equipment for input application. So we are currently doing our activities as a farmer. Here we'll be talking about what are the smart equipments that we can adopt right now that is not that costly and expensive. So for seed planting, we'll be talking about tractor power planter equipped with IoT, semi-mechanized planter. For herbicides, we'll be talking about drones, boom sprayer, mechanized knapsack sprayer. So as well as fertilizer, we'll be talking about, we have tractor mounted fertilizer application, knapsack. So I'm just rushing through because of our time. Subsequently, we'll have a section where we can, really talk about these equipment and the ones that are really kind of for the future and the one we can use now on our farm to achieve a greater yield in our farms. So that will be the end of today's class. Thank you for listening. So it's time for questions. Kindly drop your question in the chat box below and it will be attended to. So once again, the program is brought to you by Kitovu Technology Company, a technology company that is agri-focused and it uses data to eliminate guesswork in agriculture, enabling farmers to make more money off their farms through this data, through this information, and our services as well, as discussed earlier. Thank you for having me. So let's start asking our questions.